The city was glowing with lights as the evening began. Cars moved slowly on the busy road, and people were dressed in their finest clothes, heading to enjoy their night. Among the many places in the city, one restaurant stood above all others. Its name was Golden Pearl. The Golden Pearl was not an ordinary place. It was famous for its beauty and luxury. The moment a person stepped inside, they felt like they had entered another world. Chandeliers sparkled like diamonds. Soft music floated in the air, and every corner shined with elegance. People who came here often spoke about the comfort, the taste of food, and the way everything felt like a dream. On this night, a young couple walked into the restaurant with wide smiles. Their names were Tom and Anna. They were not rich, but they had saved for months to enjoy one evening at the Golden Pearl. For them, it was not just dinner. It was an experience they had dreamed about. As they stepped inside, Anna held Tom's arm tightly. She looked around with wonder. "It's more beautiful than I imagined," she whispered. Tom nodded with pride, feeling that he had done something special for her. "Tonight is going to be unforgettable," he said. A waiter guided them through the hall. The restaurant was already filled with many guests. At the center of the hall was a shining table decorated with golden cutlery, tall glasses, and a crystal vase with fresh flowers. It was the most beautiful spot in the entire place. Tom noticed the table and quickly spoke to the waiter. "Can we sit there?" The waiter hesitated for a moment. "Sir, that is a VIP table." But Tom smiled confidently. "We came early. I'm sure it's fine. Please let us sit there." After a short pause, the waiter nodded politely. Tom and Anna were led to the table, and they sat down with excitement. Anna looked around happily. "Everyone is watching us," she said softly. Tom leaned back in his chair. "That's because we're sitting at the best table," he said with pride. They ordered drinks and began talking about their day. For a moment, it felt like they truly belonged in this world of wealth and beauty. They laughed, they admired the decoration, and they imagined how it would feel to live this kind of life every day. But as they enjoyed their time, something unexpected happened. A tall man dressed in a black suit entered the restaurant. His steps were calm, but his presence was powerful. The staff quickly straightened their uniforms, the waiters whispered to each other, and even the guests turned to look at him. There was something about him that made people notice. The man walked slowly through the hall. His eyes moved from one table to another until they stopped at the very center, where Tom and Anna were sitting. He approached their table with steady steps. The sound of his shoes echoed against the marble floor. By the time he reached them, the hall had grown silent. Tom and Anna looked up, a little surprised. The man gave a polite smile, but his tone was firm when he spoke. "Excuse me," he said. "You're sitting at my table." Tom's face turned pale. He glanced at Anna, unsure what to say. The entire hall seemed to be watching. "Your table?" Tom asked carefully. The man nodded. His voice was calm, but every word carried weight. "Yes, this is the table I always use when I come here." Anna tried to ease the moment with a gentle laugh. "Oh, we didn't know. We thought it was free." The man adjusted his cufflinks, then leaned slightly closer. His words were clear and steady. "I don't just sit here," he said. "I own this place." The silence became deeper. Guests whispered quietly. Waiters bowed slightly, and Tom and Anna froze in their seats. In one moment, everything had changed. They had not simply taken a random seat. They had taken the table of the man who owned the Golden Pearl. The words hung in the air like a bell that had just been struck. "I own this place." They were spoken calmly, yet they carried so much weight that everyone in the Golden Pearl felt the meaning. Guests whispered to each other. Waiters stood frozen in place, and even the music seemed softer than before. Tom and Anna sat quietly at the shining table. Tom's hands, which had been resting confidently on the table moments ago, now tightened nervously. Anna lowered her eyes, unsure of what to say. The tall man in the black suit did not look angry. His face was calm, almost gentle, but his eyes showed strength. He pulled out the chair at the head of the table and sat down, leaving Tom and Anna unsure of what to do. Tom finally cleared his throat. "We didn't know this was your table," he said softly. The man nodded. "I believe you, but sometimes what you don't know can still surprise you." Anna gave a small smile, hoping to ease the tension. "This place is so beautiful. We just thought it would be nice to sit here." The man leaned back in his chair and looked around the hall. "Yes, it is beautiful," he said. "But beauty does not just happen. Someone has to create it. Someone has to care for it every day. The way he spoke made Tom and Anna curious. They had never thought about who actually owned places like this. They only came to enjoy it for one night. The waiter, still standing nearby, cleared his throat nervously. "Sir, should I arrange another table for them?" The man lifted his hand gently. "No, let them stay. After all, this table has enough space for more than one story." Tom and Anna looked at each other, surprised. They did not expect him to let them remain at the table. The man turned his gaze back to them. "My name is Mr. Harris," he said. "And yes, I am the owner of the Golden Pearl." Tom nodded quickly. "It's an honor to meet you, sir," Anna added softly. "We really didn't mean to take your place." Mr. Harris smiled. Sometimes life places people in unexpected seats. The question is, what do they do when they realize where they are? The couple listened carefully. His words felt more like a lesson than a casual remark. For a few moments the hall continued in silence, everyone trying to listen without seeming too obvious. Then Mr. Harris spoke again, his tone lighter this time. "Tell me," he said, "what made you come here tonight?" Tom answered honestly. "We've heard so much about this restaurant. We wanted to experience it at least once. We saved for months to afford this dinner. Sitting here at this table, it made us feel special." Anna nodded. "It felt like we were part of a different world, even if just for one evening." Mr. Harris leaned forward slightly, his eyes warm. "I understand. I know that feeling better than you think." Both Tom and Anna looked surprised. How could a man who owned such a grand place know what it was like to dream of a single evening here? Mr. Harris saw the question in their eyes. "People see me now and imagine I was always like this," he explained. "But there was a time when I could not even step into a place like this. I had to stand outside and wonder what it would be like. I too once dreamed of sitting at tables like this." Anna's eyes widened. "Really? You?" He gave a small laugh. "Yes, me." For the first time since the silence fell, Tom and Anna relaxed a little. They no longer saw just a powerful man in a black suit. They began to see a story behind him. The waiters, seeing that the mood had softened, began serving drinks at the table. The soft music grew a little louder again, and the hall returned to its rhythm. But many guests still kept glancing toward the center. Mr. Harris lifted his glass and looked at Tom and Anna. "So tonight you sit at this table. Perhaps it was not planned, but sometimes chance opens a door. The important thing is what you learn once you walk through it." Tom raised his glass carefully, unsure if it was right to do the same. Anna followed, her smile returning. For the first time that evening, the three of them sat together at the shining VIP table, not as strangers in conflict, but as people sharing a moment that no one else in the hall would forget. The clinking of glasses slowly blended with the soft music in the Golden Pearl. The atmosphere had become lighter, but the center of attention was still at the grand VIP table, where Mr. Harris sat with Tom and Anna. Guests nearby leaned closer, pretending to focus on their own meals. But everyone wanted to hear what the owner of the restaurant might say next. Tom and Anna sat quietly waiting. There was something in Mr. Harris's voice that carried both wisdom and mystery. It made them want to know more about him. Mr. Harris placed his glass gently on the table and leaned back in his chair. "You see, people often notice the result," he began. "They see the lights, the beauty, the wealth. But very few people know the journey that comes before it." Anna tilted her head with curiosity. "What was your journey like?" she asked softly. He smiled as if remembering something far away. "It was not an easy road. I grew up in a small neighborhood far from places like this. My family did not have much. My parents worked hard. But even then, sometimes we struggled to have enough. When I was young, I would pass by fancy restaurants and wonder what it felt like to sit inside, even for one meal." Tom listened closely. He had never thought that someone as successful as Mr. Harris could have come from such a background. Mr. Harris continued, his tone calm but strong. "Many people told me I would never have a chance. They said some doors were not meant for people like me. But I refused to accept that. I believed that if I worked hard and kept learning, one day I could change my story." Anna's eyes grew wide. "So you didn't give up?" "Never," Mr. Harris said firmly. "I started with small jobs. I cleaned floors, carried boxes, and sometimes worked double shifts just to save a little. But every time I earned something, I invested it wisely. I read books about business. I listened to people who knew more than me, and I asked questions even when I felt shy." Tom nodded slowly. He felt both impressed and inspired. "So that's how you built your success?" Mr. Harris smiled. "Step by step. It took years. There were times I failed, times I felt tired, and times when I wanted to stop. But each failure was a lesson, not the end. Slowly, I started small businesses. Some worked, some did not. But I learned from each one. And over time, I was able to build something bigger." Anna leaned forward eagerly. "And that's how you bought this restaurant?" He shook his head gently. "Not at first. Before the Golden Pearl, I started with a small cafe. It was nothing fancy. Just a few tables and chairs. But I treated every customer like they were important. I wanted them to feel welcome. People noticed, and soon the cafe became popular. From there, I saved enough to open another place, then another. Eventually, I was able to buy this restaurant, the one I once only dreamed of entering." There was a pause as Tom and Anna took in his words. The man sitting before them was proof that dreams could be turned into reality, with patience and determination. Mr. Harris looked at them kindly. "That is why I smiled when you said this table made you feel special. I know that feeling. I once wished for it myself. And now I sit here not because it was handed to me, but because I never stopped moving forward." Anna's eyes sparkled. "It's amazing. You went from standing outside to owning the place." Mr. Harris chuckled softly. "Life can change if you refuse to give up. But the truth is, success is not only about money or ownership. It is about the lessons you carry, the people you meet, and the respect you earn along the way." Tom glanced around the restaurant, then back at Mr. Harris. "Do you ever feel proud when you see all this?" Mr. Harris nodded. "Of course. But I also feel responsible. This place is not just for me. It is for everyone who walks in, everyone who works here, and everyone who believes in creating something better." Anna smiled warmly. "Hearing your story makes this night even more special for us." The owner gave them a thoughtful look. "Then perhaps your sitting here was not a mistake. Maybe it was meant to happen. Maybe you needed to hear this tonight." The couple sat in silence for a moment, both touched by his words. Around them, the restaurant buzzed softly again. But inside their hearts, something had changed. They were no longer just guests at a luxurious table. They were part of a story of hope, hard work, and the belief that anything is possible. The night at the Golden Pearl continued with its soft music and golden glow. But for Tom and Anna, the world seemed to have slowed down. They were still seated with Mr. Harris, the owner, whose story had filled them with wonder. Tom finally broke the silence. "It must feel amazing to know you built all of this. I can't even imagine what it takes to run a place like this." Mr. Harris smiled gently. "It takes more than what people see from the outside. Most guests only notice the sparkling lights, the food, and the comfort. But behind all of this, there is hard work every single day." Anna tilted her head curiously. "What do you mean?" Mr. Harris looked thoughtful for a moment. Then he said, "Would you like to see?" The couple blinked in surprise. "See what?" Tom asked. "The other side of the Golden Pearl." Mr. Harris replied. "Not the tables, not the chandeliers, what happens behind the scenes. The part that keeps this place alive." Anna's eyes widened. "Are you serious? You mean, we can see it?" "Of course," Mr. Harris said with a kind smile. "Why not? Tonight you are not just guests at my table. Tonight you are my special guests." Tom and Anna looked at each other, both excited and a little nervous. Finally, they nodded eagerly. Mr. Harris stood up gracefully and gestured for them to follow. As he walked, the staff bowed their heads slightly in respect. The couple felt a wave of pride rush through them. They were walking beside the man who owned the restaurant everyone admired. He led them through a side hallway that guests usually never noticed. The music and chatter of the dining hall slowly faded as they stepped deeper inside. Soon they entered a busy but organized world that felt completely different from the glamorous dining area. "This," Mr. Harris said, spreading his hand toward the sight before them, "is the heart of the Golden Pearl." They saw chefs moving swiftly in the kitchen, flames rising from pans, plates being decorated with care, and assistants carrying trays with perfect balance. The air was filled with delicious aromas, and the sound of sizzling pans mixed with the voices of the staff giving instructions. Anna gasped. "It's like another world in here." Mr. Harris nodded. "Yes. Guests see the finished dish, but here's where it begins. Every detail matters, every ingredient, every second of preparation. It's not just cooking. It's creating experiences." Tom looked around in amazement. Everyone is moving so fast, but it looks like they all know exactly what to do. That is because they are a team, Mr. Harris explained. One person cannot make a place like this work. It takes trust, respect, and discipline. Each person here is important. They walked further, passing by storage rooms filled with fresh ingredients and neat shelves. Then they saw a young waiter polishing glasses carefully, making sure every single one shined perfectly. Even the smallest job matters, Mr. Harris said as he pointed. When guests drink from that glass, they will not think about the person who polished it, but their experience will be shaped by it. Success comes from the little things. Anna smiled softly. I never thought about it that way. Mr. Harris gave her a warm look. Most people don't, they see only the surface. But life is also like this. Great results are built on many small unseen efforts. They continued walking until they reached a quiet office at the end of the hallway. Inside there were bookshelves filled with files, ledgers, and business records. A large wooden desk stood in the center with a single lamp glowing softly. This is where decisions are made, Mr. Harris said as they stepped in. The dining hall is the face of the Golden Pearl. The kitchen is the heart. But this is the mind. Tom stepped closer, looking at the desk. So this is where you plan everything? Yes, Mr. Harris replied. Numbers, schedules, staff, supplies. All of it must be managed here. Without strong planning, even the most beautiful restaurant will fail. Anna's eyes sparkled with interest. It's amazing. From outside, it just looks like people are eating happily. But here there is so much effort, so much thought. Mr. Harris placed his hand on the desk gently. And that is why I say ownership is not only about wealth. It is about responsibility. When you hold something in your hands, you must protect it, guide it, and make sure it grows. Tom felt a spark inside him. I never imagined I'd learn all this just by coming for dinner. It feels like we were meant to be here tonight. Mr. Harris gave him a thoughtful smile. Perhaps you were. Life sometimes places us where we least expect, but always where we need to learn. The couple stood quietly, feeling grateful. This was no longer just an evening out. It was becoming a lesson that would stay with them forever. Tom and Anna stood quietly in Mr. Harris's office. The soft glow of the desk lamp made the room feel calm, almost like a place of reflection rather than just business. For a moment, the couple felt as if they were no longer guests, but students about to learn something important. Mr. Harris leaned against his desk and looked at them with a thoughtful smile. You have seen the dining hall and the kitchen. Now you understand that success is not just about what is visible. It is about the work and discipline behind it. But there is something more important than both. Character. Tom frowned slightly. Character? Yes, Mr. Harris said. Money can build walls, buy furniture, and hire staff. But it is character that builds respect, trust, and loyalty. Without character, success does not last. Anna listened carefully. What do you mean by character? Mr. Harris walked slowly around the office, speaking gently. Character means honesty when no one is watching. It means respect for people, no matter who they are. It means humility, even when you stand at the highest point. Many people think success gives them the right to look down on others, but true success is when you can rise without making others feel small. The couple exchanged glances. His words felt deep, yet clear. Tom asked, Did you always believe this way? Mr. Harris gave a quiet laugh. Not always. There were times I made mistakes. When my first cafe became popular, I felt proud. Maybe too proud. I thought I had done everything alone. But then, I realized I was forgetting the people who supported me, the staff, the customers, even my family. Without them, my dream would not have survived. That lesson taught me to stay humble. Anna's eyes softened. That's beautiful. Many people forget such things. Mr. Harris nodded. Yes, and that is why they often lose what they gain. Wealth without wisdom is like a candle in the wind. It burns brightly for a moment, then disappears. Tom leaned forward slightly. So, what do you think is the key to lasting success? Mr. Harris smiled warmly. The key is balance. Work hard, yes, but also care for people. Save money, but also share when you can. Dream big, but never forget where you came from. If you can balance these things, your success will not only be strong, it will be meaningful. Anna looked down at her hands. I think I needed to hear this. Sometimes I feel like life is too hard, like dreams are too far away. Mr. Harris's voice softened. Dreams are never too far away. They only feel far because we see the distance but not the steps. Take one step each day, no matter how small. Soon you will find yourself closer than you imagined. Tom felt a quiet strength in those words. He realized that tonight was not only about enjoying a luxurious meal, it was about learning something that could shape their lives. Mr. Harris walked back to the desk and picked up a small notebook. Its cover was plain, but the pages inside were filled with his handwriting. He placed it gently in front of Tom and Anna. This, he said, is where I write thoughts, lessons, and reminders to myself. Would you like to hear one? The couple nodded eagerly. He opened the notebook to a page and read aloud. A table is not great because of its gold or glass. It is great because of the conversations shared around it and the respect exchanged across it. Anna's eyes shined. That's beautiful. Mr. Harris closed the notebook with a smile. That is why I did not ask you to leave tonight. A table is empty without meaning. But when people come together, even by chance, something greater can happen. Tom took a deep breath. I'll never forget this evening. It feels like more than just dinner. It feels like a turning point. Mr. Harris placed a hand on his shoulder. Then carry it with you. Let it guide you. And remember, every great journey begins with respect, humility, and the courage to keep moving forward. As they left the office and walked back toward the Golden Hall, Tom and Anna felt different. They had entered the Golden Pearl as ordinary guests, but now they carried lessons that could shape their future. And as the chandeliers sparkled above them, they realized the true wealth of the night was not the table they sat at, but the wisdom they had received. Tom and Anna followed Mr. Harris back into the grand dining hall. The chandeliers still glowed and the music floated softly through the air. Yet, for the couple, everything felt different now. They had seen the heart of the Golden Pearl, and they had listened to the lessons of the man who built it. As they walked toward the VIP table again, Mr. Harris paused and looked around the hall. His eyes rested on a small scene in the corner. A young waiter had accidentally dropped a tray of glasses, and the sound had caught everyone's attention. The waiter looked pale, bending quickly to pick up the pieces, his hands trembling with worry. Mr. Harris turned to Tom and Anna. Here, he said softly. This is your test. Tell me, what do you see? Tom frowned, watching the waiter struggle. I see someone making a mistake, he replied carefully. Anna leaned closer. I see someone afraid of being blamed. Mr. Harris nodded slowly. Good. But now what would you do if you were in my place? The question hung in the air. Tom thought hard. If I were the owner, I'd probably replace him or at least warn him. Broken glasses cost money. Anna shook her head. No, I think I'd comfort him. Everyone makes mistakes. If he's afraid, he might lose confidence and work even worse. Mr. Harris smiled at both answers. Interesting. You are both looking at the same moment, yet your thoughts are different. Now watch. He stepped forward and walked calmly to the waiter. The hall grew silent again, all eyes turning toward the owner. The waiter bowed his head low, whispering an apology. Mr. Harris bent slightly, helped him lift one of the glasses and said gently, Do not worry. Glass can break, but your effort is what truly matters. Learn to hold it steadier next time, and you will improve. The young waiter's face filled with relief. Thank you, sir, he said with gratitude. Mr. Harris patted his shoulder. Remember, mistakes are teachers in disguise. Do not fear them. Respect them, learn, and keep moving. As the staff cleaned the floor, the music slowly returned to normal. Guests whispered to each other about the owner's patience, and the waiter straightened his back, now more determined than before. Mr. Harris returned to Tom and Anna, who were watching with surprise. Now, he said softly, what did you learn? Anna spoke first. You showed respect instead of anger. You gave him courage instead of fear. Tom nodded slowly. And by doing that, you didn't just save one waiter's evening. You made everyone respect you even more. Mr. Harris smiled warmly. Exactly. Leadership is not about power. It is about guidance. If I had shouted, the glasses would still be broken, but the waiter's spirit would be shattered too. What good would that bring? They sat again at the VIP table, and Tom could not stop thinking about the moment. I think I understand now, he said. Success is not about how much you own, but how you treat the people around you. Correct, Mr. Harris replied. Because wealth without kindness is empty. But even a small place filled with respect can shine brighter than gold. Anna rested her chin on her hand, her eyes glowing with admiration. I feel like we were brought here tonight for a reason. These lessons, they are not just about running a restaurant. They are about life. Mr. Harris nodded. That is true. Life will always test you. Sometimes with failures, sometimes with people, and sometimes with choices. The way you respond defines your path. Tom thought about his own life, his struggles and his dreams. He felt a quiet fire inside him, a new belief that he could achieve more if he carried these lessons forward. Anna gently touched his hand. Maybe one day we'll have our own story to tell, just like Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris overheard and smiled kindly. And when that day comes, remember this evening. Remember that success is not only measured by tables, chandeliers, or wealth. It is measured by how many people you lift as you rise. The hall glowed brighter in their eyes, not because of the lights, but because of the wisdom they had gained. The night was not over yet, but Tom and Anna knew that what they had witnessed would stay with them forever. The evening carried on, but Tom and Anna could not shake the feeling that something special was still waiting for them. The music played softly in the background, and guests laughed and talked at their tables. Yet Tom's eyes kept wandering to Mr. Harris, who sat calmly, almost as if he was holding a secret. Anna leaned closer to Tom. Do you think he's going to test us again? She whispered. Tom shrugged. Maybe. But whatever it is, I feel like he's preparing us for something. Mr. Harris looked at them and smiled knowingly, as if he had heard their thoughts. He placed his glass down gently and said, I have shown you the heart of this place, and I have shared with you lessons that built it. But tonight is not only about teaching, it is about giving. Tom and Anna exchanged a curious glance. Mr. Harris stood and signaled to the waiter, who hurried forward. A moment later, the waiter returned carrying a silver envelope, placing it in Mr. Harris's hand. He set it on the table in front of Tom and Anna. Anna blinked. What is this? Mr. Harris folded his hands and said, Open it, together. With careful hands, Anna slid the card out of the envelope while Tom leaned closer. Inside was a beautifully designed invitation card. Gold letters glimmered under the light. The words read, Invitation to the inner circle of the Golden Pearl. Tom frowned slightly. What does this mean? Mr. Harris's smile grew warmer. The Golden Pearl has many members, but very few belong to the inner circle. It is not about money. It is about trust, respect, and vision. Those who belong share ideas, help one another, and grow together. Tonight I am inviting you both to join. Anna gasped. Us? But why us? We're just a young couple who wandered into the wrong table? Mr. Harris interrupted gently. No, you are more than that. You showed curiosity when you could have stayed silent. You showed humility when you could have argued. And you listened when you could have ignored. That is rare. Tom sat back, stunned. So this is like becoming part of your world? Mr. Harris nodded. Exactly. You will not only dine here whenever you wish, but you will also meet people who can guide you, support you, and challenge you. You see, success grows faster when it is shared. For a moment, Tom and Anna were speechless. They had walked into the restaurant earlier that evening with nothing more than excitement for a night out. Now they were being invited into a circle that could change their future. Anna's voice trembled. We don't know what to say. This is so much more than we imagined. Mr. Harris leaned forward, his eyes kind. Say only this, that you will honor the opportunity, that you will use it not only for yourselves but also for others, just as I have done. Tom finally found his words. We promise. We won't let you down. The room around them seemed brighter, even though nothing had changed. The chandeliers still glowed, the music still played, but in their hearts everything felt new. Then, as if the night still had more to give, Mr. Harris raised his hand. The music quieted and the guests turned toward him. Ladies and gentlemen, he announced, his voice steady and commanding, Tonight, we welcome two new members into our inner circle. They remind us that respect, humility, and curiosity are worth more than gold. Please welcome Tom and Anna. The hall erupted with applause. Guests smiled and raised their glasses in toast. Some even stood to clap. Tom and Anna felt their faces warm, but they also felt proud. Anna whispered to Tom, "I can't believe this is happening." Tom squeezed her hand. "Neither can I, but I think this is only the beginning." As the applause faded and the music returned, Mr. Harris leaned close once more. "Remember this moment," he said softly. "Life will continue to test you. Some people will doubt you, some will envy you, and some will even try to take what is yours. But if you hold on to the values you discovered tonight, you will never lose your place." Tom and Anna nodded, their hearts full. The night that had started with a simple dinner had turned into the most unforgettable evening of their lives. But Mr. Harris had one more gift waiting for them, a gift that would make their future even brighter. The applause slowly faded in the Golden Pearl, but the air remained filled with excitement. Tom and Anna sat at the VIP table, still processing the extraordinary turn of events. They had been invited into the inner circle, a privilege they never imagined, and the lessons they had learned from Mr. Harris lingered in their minds. Mr. Harris stood once more, his presence calm but commanding. He looked at the couple with a gentle smile. "Tonight," he said, "I have one final gift for you. Not money, not gold, but something that will shape your lives if you choose to embrace it." Tom and Anna leaned forward, curiosity shining in their eyes. "This," Mr. Harris continued, "is the opportunity to experience responsibility firsthand. You have watched, listened, and learned. Now it is time to try." He signaled to a young manager nearby who brought two small but elegant binders and placed them on the table. Each binder contained schedules, staff details, and plans for upcoming events at the restaurant. "You will help me plan one special evening here at the Golden Pearl," Mr. Harris explained. "From seating to service, from music to presentation, you will take part in making this restaurant shine. Think of it as a real lesson in leadership, respect, and decision-making." Anna gasped softly. "Us, really?" "Yes," Mr. Harris said kindly. "You will not be making mistakes that matter forever. You will be guided, advised, and supported, but you will also have the chance to see how choices affect everything around you. Only by doing can you truly understand what you have learned tonight." Tom's heart raced. This is incredible." "It feels like a dream," Mr. Harris nodded. "Many dreams do feel that way at first, but when you act on them, they become reality." For the next hour, Tom and Anna walked through the restaurant, guided by Mr. Harris and his team. They observed the staff closely, took notes, and made small decisions under his watchful eye. They suggested flower arrangements, helped choose table settings, and even chose a special dish for the evening's guests. At first, they were nervous. Every choice felt important, but Mr. Harris gently reminded them, "Trust your instincts and remember what you have learned. Respect everyone, and your decisions will reflect that." By the end of the hour, the VIP table that had once caused their anxiety now felt like a command center. Tom and Anna had worked side by side with the staff, seen how every small action created a bigger impact, and understood the true value of teamwork and responsibility. When the evening concluded, Mr. Harris gathered them back at the VIP table. "You have done well," he said warmly, "not because everything was perfect, but because you approached it with respect, thoughtfulness, and care. That is the real gift tonight. The experience of being trusted, of learning through action, and of understanding the meaning of leadership." Anna looked at him, eyes bright with gratitude. "Thank you, Mr. Harris. This night, it's more than I could have imagined. It's not just a memory, it's a lesson we will carry forever." Tom nodded. "Yes, and we will never forget what we learned about respect, patience, and responsibility. This evening has changed the way we see everything." Mr. Harris leaned back with a satisfied smile. "Good. That is what life does when you open your mind and heart. It gives lessons in unexpected ways, and sometimes the smallest choices lead to the greatest rewards." As the couple rose to leave, the staff and guests quietly nodded and smiled, acknowledging the significance of the night. Tom and Anna realized that the glow of the chandeliers was nothing compared to the light of understanding and wisdom they now carried within themselves. Walking out of the restaurant, hand in hand they felt a sense of hope, excitement, and confidence they had never known before. What had started as a simple dinner had turned into a life-changing experience. A night of lessons, surprises, and trust, Anna whispered softly. I can't believe all this happened in just one evening. Tom smiled, squeezing her hand. Neither can I, but I know one thing. We will never forget it, and it will guide us in every step of our future. And as the city lights sparkled around them, Tom and Anna walked away from the Golden Pearl, carrying with them not just memories of a luxurious night, but the greatest gift of all, knowledge, respect, and the courage to rise. The VIP table remained behind them, glowing softly under the chandeliers, a silent reminder of the lessons, the trust, and the extraordinary evening that had changed two ordinary lives forever.